New York. I don't think you can describe it. I think you just have to experience it. I love the fans the most. They're very knowledgeable about the game. They have high expectations, and they hold you accountable. Greatest fans in the world.
Yankee Stadium, the house that Babe Ruth built.
My grandmother was a huge Yankee fan. The Yankees were my favorite team, and I always wanted to be a shortstop because my dad was a shortstop. So as far back as my mind allows me to go, that's how long I wanted to play baseball.
Yankees select Derek Jeter.
You know, you put the pinstripes on for the first time and you're taking the field as a member of the New York Yankees. And this is what you work for. All eyes are on you.
Derek Jeter!
It's like I was living a dream. Welcome to the show. When I first got the call in 1995 that I was getting promoted to the major leagues, I thought for sure I was getting traded. My name was circulating a lot of trade rumors, and I got a call probably at 5:30 in the morning from my manager at the time, and he was asking me if I was awake, and I was like, no, I'm not awake. And he said, well, splash some water on your face and come to your room. And he came to my room, and he told me I had been promoted to New York, and I was on a flight to Seattle in a couple hours later. Going to play in the King Dome, never played in the Dome before. Just, you know, having a moment where you say, look, I've made it. I've finally been called up to the major league. So it's definitely a moment that I will never forget.
Second for one. Jeter, the strong throw. Wow.
You know, I was 0 for 5 the night before. You start thinking about whether or not you're going to be sent back down to the minor leagues. You're putting a lot of pressure on yourself.
Here's the kid, Derek Jeter, hunting for his first major league hit, and sends a base hit into left.
Tino Martinez was the first baseman, and he became a teammate of mine the following year and one of my good friends. And when I was going back to first, he said, congratulations, just the first of many. There was no celebration after the game. I mean, I think I smiled for a second. You make it to the major leagues, you're just trying to stay there. So you really don't have much time to celebrate.
Diving, stop it, short, Derek Jeter.
Late in the season, 1995, really hadn't played since I got called back up. The Yankees hadn't been to the postseason since '81, I believe. It was the first year of the wild card, and we were in it. Bernie Williams missed a flight coming back from Puerto Rico, and I think they were pretty much stuck with me playing.
Rookie Derek Jeter in a start in a very important ball game.
Number 2, Derek Jeter.
So I went out there, I hit a double.
Jeter sends one toward the gap, deep to right field. The Yankees are going to score a 2-out run. Well, how about that? Derek Jeter making the most of this chance.
Bernie returned, I think about the third, fourth inning is when he finally got to the park, and we were in the middle of a pennant race. And honestly, I don't think the younger players were trusted, and rightfully so. So as soon as Bernie came, they took me out. I was happy to be able to contribute at least one at-bat during that pennant run there. We were battling up until the last day of the season. Pretty much had to win the last game to get to the postseason, and everyone wanted to get there because it would have been Don Mattingly's first year in the playoffs.
Mattingly rips one down the line and deep. A home run for Don Mattingly in the game that could send him to the first postseason of his 12-year career.
We were able to get there. I was not on the playoff roster. I had a chance to stick around so I could see what the atmosphere, the playoff atmosphere was like. The energy, the fans, the intensity of the playoff game. I felt like I just had a good seat to watch. I mean, it was a great seat right in the front row, but not having an opportunity to play or not having the chance to play, it was frustrating because you want to help.
Line drive, we are tied. Griffey is coming around. He's going to
try to score. Here's the division championship. No others win it. No others win it.
You know, the ultimate goal is to win a World Series. When that does not happen, I think you sit down and you have a self-evaluation and you reflect on the season and how you can be better and how you can help the team win. I mean, everyone at some point is going to fail and they're going to lose as well. But I think it just motivates you and pushes you into the next season. So, you know, I wanted to prove to myself that I could be on that field and perform and play in the postseason. I remember in 1996, I struggled in spring training. I didn't hit very well. I made a lot of errors, made a lot of mistakes, physical mistakes, mental mistakes. Tony Fernandez was the shortstop before I got there, and he broke his arm with like a couple weeks left in spring training. If he did not break his arm, I felt as though they were going to send me back down to the minor leagues. It was nerve-wracking, and I put a lot of pressure on myself to perform, and honestly, I think they were just stuck with me. My first opening day, we actually got snowed out. We played on the off day the next day.
Derek Jeter batting for the first time.
You want to make a good impression. You want to get off to a good start. You want to prove to people that you deserve to be there. More importantly, you want to prove to yourself that you deserve to be there.
Oh, you got a run on that one. That's gone. Holy cow.
The season sort of took off from there.
Into shallow center field. What a play Derek Jeter made.
I felt as though it was very important for me, especially looking back now, that I got off to a good start. Even though it was just one game, that adds to your confidence. When I'm up in a big situation, my mind would always go back to a successful time in my career, whether it was in Little League or it was in the minor leagues or the major leagues.
Derek Jeter with an RBI single.
I had fun, and I tried to enjoy the moment, and I always thought I was going to be successful. Now, I would fail a lot, but my mind just went to the times I had success. Playing in the playoffs, the fans were hungry. We were the talk of the town.
The Yankees have left 10 men on base, including the bases loaded in the 7th. Going back to the track, to the wall.
No matter how you look at it, it was a home run. Right? There's nothing you can say about it.
And what happens here? It's a home run. Jeter comes across to tie the game.
Tony Tarasco actually played for us, and I told Tony, you should have jumped. He didn't jump. He wasn't going to catch it anyway. People made a big deal out of it. Obviously, I understand it now, but we would have beat Baltimore anyway. You know, that just tied it. Bernie actually won the game later on.
And here's a drive to left. It's mighty high.
It's one of those moments that, you know, in order to win a World Series, you have to have a good team, you have to have a great team, but you also need breaks. And can't say we got all the breaks. We earned our breaks. Just one of those moments that worked out for us.
Welcome to a raucous Yankee Stadium here in New York.
I remember when we played Atlanta in the World Series, all I knew about the Braves was watching them on television when I was younger. The moment I really realized that it was the World Series is when Mr. Torrey came in to our meeting and he said, this team's going to be better than any team you've played this year. And this was before interleague play, so we never played the Braves.
The sellout crowd is on hand to watch the Braves and the New York Yankees.
You're facing Maddox and Glavine and Smoltz and Avery, Fred McGriff, Chipper Jones. I'd never been around these guys. I just watched them and admired them from afar. It was a stacked team. I realized we're in the World Series now.
Base hit. 2-0 New York.
And pitch swung on and popped up again. Off third. Makes the catch. Yankees win. The Yankees win.
I was the one that said if you don't win the World Series, the season's a failure.
The 1996 World Series.
It's a culmination of a lot of hard work. When you win finally in 1996, first time, you go back to playing in Little League, playing in summer ball, playing in high school, all the years in the minor leagues, the success, the failures. You play for that one moment to be the last team on the field. It's pretty special, especially when you have a chance to do it in New York.
And the New York Yankees are world champions.
New York's a hot spot. If you have success there, the people show up. They pay attention, they watch, they want to be a part of it. So it was experiencing everything for the first time. Once you win, there's no other place you can go. You either win or you fail. So it set the expectation level high, set the bar high for us. And that's what we always strive to do, was to win a World Series. And I think that started because we were able to win in 1996.
Jeter, O'Neill, and Martinez, the runners. Jumped on that one. Hit deep to right. A grand slam home run for Bernie Williams, his first as a left-hand hitter this year. Wow.
What made the 1998 team unique was we could care less what we did the day before. We could care less who the hero was. We pretty much clinched the division in April. I mean, it was, for the most part, it was over with.
And the New York Yankees are the champions of the American League East Division.
Whether it was moving a runner over, you hit a home run, you bunt a guy over, it didn't make a difference. Everyone was willing to do it. We checked our egos at the door. You know, just every single day we wanted to beat you. The only thing we cared about was winning.
Derek Jeter rips it inside the line, and he's going to have a standing double. Yep, 200th hit.
200 hits, I mean, it's a couple things. One, consistency. You have to be consistent day in and day out. And you have to play. You have to be available. You can't take days off. Home runs fluctuate, RBIs fluctuate, average fluctuates. But you only get 2-3 people maybe at most in each league that gets 200 hits.
For the souvenir for Derek Jeter, first time in his career, 200 hits in a season.
I started working on the jump throw in the minor leagues, just having fun during batting practice. I just think it came from years of sort of improvising, and ball's got to be hit the right speed. You got to know the speed of the runner, and you got to have fun when you play. I had fun. So first time people maybe really paid attention to it was when we were playing Cleveland in the playoffs.
Hit toward the hole. Jeter backhands from the outfield grass. Man, what a play.
For me, I didn't think about it. It was just a reaction. It was easier and quicker for me to just jump as opposed to stopping and trying to plant. If you work on something enough and you do it over and over and over again, it just becomes a natural play for you.
I mean, that is about strength right there.
I'm not patting myself on the back. I'm really not. It's not as easy as it looks, because if you actually, when you take people out to a major league field and you see how far the throw is, you have to have momentum on your side. I think the reaction, initial reaction was, when did you start doing that?
I mean, this is a beautiful play. I don't know how many shortstops can make that play.
Now Jeter to the right side, under the glove of Veras. No throw, and it's 4-0 Yankees in the second.
What does it take for a team to sweep the World Series?
Martinez down the right field line. Grand slam.
I think it takes a confident team. I think it takes a very, very good team. I think it takes an experienced group. And I think it takes a group that never gives up, whether you're behind or not. And the 98 team had all those qualities.
Into center field, well hit. At the track, at the wall. A 3-run home run for Scott Brocious. And just like that, the Yankees take a 5-3 eighth-inning lead.
We won in 98. I wouldn't say it's a feeling of relief. It was a feeling of satisfaction. It was a feeling of, this is where we belong. This is where we should be. And then right after that is, we have to win again next year.
Brocious fittingly with a throw. The Yankees have done it again. Number 24. They are the world champions of baseball in 1998.
Good teams, they don't sit around and pat themselves on the back and talk about what they've accomplished. They think about what's next. Our group always thought about the next year. I mean, guys weren't walking around wearing World Series rings into the clubhouse because that didn't mean anything to us anymore. It was, now what can we do next?
Yankees win. The Yankees win.
For a lot of teams, there's a natural letdown because you've reached your goal, you've reached the peak, you've won the World Series or you won a championship, you sort of get a chance to exhale and relax. I think what made our group special was we never did that.
And the Yankees have won it.
What a finish.
1999 knows that we have to win the World Series, we have to win back-to-back, or we've wasted our time. When you're talking about 40-man roster, you're talking about 40 people all having that same mindset. It's pretty special, and we had a special group.
And the Yankees are going to win the game.
I had 100 RBIs for the first time that year. It's the only time I had 100 RBIs.
It falls in for a hit, bounces into the stands for a double. Derek Jeter has his 100th RBI, and for Jeter, it's his first time to the 100 RBI club.
We had to win. It's a lot of pressure that we put on ourselves, but we welcomed it. What made '99 against Boston in the postseason so special was, up until that point, we'd never played in the postseason.
Swung on and blooped to right field, and the Yankees have tied the game at 3. A home run, and the Yankees win over their arch rival Red Sox.
I'm biased. I think it's the best rivalry in all of sports.
It is gone.
Rivera set the pitch, struck him out swinging. Yankees win.
We felt as though we couldn't lose. There was a lot of pressure on us that we just can't lose this series. I personally did not like playing at Fenway Park. You ever strike out, it's the longest walk in Major League Baseball.
That's strikeout number 6. Jeter says goodbye as that's 10 strikeouts for Pedro Martinez.
I liked the atmosphere, but I didn't necessarily like playing at Fenway Park.
Jeter pounds one into center field. Back is Lewis at the wall and gone for a 2-run home run.
To have a big moment against Boston, I think it stands out a little bit more. Not only in my mind, I think it stands out in the minds of the fans as well.
Ball game over. American League Championship Series over. Yankees win. Yankees win. And don't think they didn't want to win it in Boston. They certainly did.
There's two sides of it. You always like to clinch at home so you can do it in front of your home fans. But then at the same time, you're playing Boston, you love clinching in Boston.
Marker.
Batting second from the New York Yankees, playing shortstop, Derek Jeter.
I remember it was the first time I had a chance to start the All-Star game. So you're excited about that.
A liner to left. It'll drop for a hit. Down the line, possible extra bases. Jeter is in standing.
I was able to get a few hits and score a run.
Here's Jeter, who doubled his first time up. It's one through the middle, and Jeter's 2 for 2. A line drive, and he's 3 for 3. 1 run home. Jeter has knocked in 2 and scored the other.
You got to come up at the right time. I had zero idea that no Yankee had ever won All-Star Game MVP. That's mind-boggling to me to think all the great players that have played Yankee uniform.
You've had a great career, and this is just another great moment. Congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate it. There's a long history there, so you had to be the first to do anything in Yankee uniform. Is tough to do.
Shortstop position in the American League, you never know if you're going to get a chance to come to an All-Star game, let alone start one. So I'm just thankful I got an opportunity to play.
A slow roller, but Martinez doesn't run well. Jeter up with it. Starts spreading the news. New York, New York.
Now the stage is set for the Subway Series between the Yankees and Mets.
The hype around the Subway Series in 2000 was second to none. I think New York was the center of the baseball world. We had heard so much about how good the Mets were.
Grand slam, Piazza!
They were close the year before, and then everywhere you went in New York, that's all people talked about. You'd run into Met fans telling us how bad we were. Yankee fans, don't blow it. If there's any series that you can't lose, it's one against the Mets. We were the talk of the town.
Seal into left field, well hit.
You hear athletes say all the time, game speeds up, it slows down. It slows down when you're prepared.
Track, wall, off the top of the wall.
So I knew how fast he was. I saw he wasn't really running that hard because I think he thought it was going to be a home run as well. In my mind, it was if Justice could give me the ball as soon as possible, we have a chance to get him at the plate.
Into third, they bring him around. Throw to the plate by Jeter. Quick throw, in and over. Derek
talk about the jump throw. That was a relay throw where I was on the move. I didn't stop.
Right on the money, an off-balance throw. Wow.
I think that was a big moment in the series because, you know, they were feeling themselves at the time.
Jeter moves into the leadoff spot as both clubs have struggled to get their leadoff men on base in this series.
Where I hit in the lineup didn't change my approach at all. Whether I hit first, second, third, every single at bat in my career, I looked fastball right down the middle. I just wasn't good enough to guess. When I was leading off, he threw a first pitch fastball, and I was able to hit it out.
And he goes after the first pitch, way back left field. Derek Jeter, he's on and out. Goodbye, home run. First pitch homer for Derek Jeter.
There was more outside pressure for us to win that series than there was any other World Series, because in New York, it almost felt as though the city was up for grabs.
That's well hit into left field by Taya. Up by Yanni, back. It's a 2-2 game. Derek Jeter's gone deep again. Up the middle. Base hit. Throw to the plate. Hits the runner. Brocious will score, and the Yankees lead 4-2.
If we didn't win that World Series, we would have been in a lot of trouble.
A three-peat. The New York Yankees, for the third time in a row, fourth time in 5 years, and 26th time in franchise history, they are the world champions.
I don't know if I can describe what it feels like to be on top of the sports world in New York. When we were playing, it's like we were performing on a Broadway stage, and everyone came to see us because we were winning and we were successful. We had a run there where there was a lot of celebrating. For a period of time, it wasn't just New Yorkers. It was like everyone was rallying behind us.
2-2. Messina with a sign.
That's probably the play I get asked about the most.
You got to wait for a gapper.
That's fair down the right field line. And they're going to wave him around. The throw misses a cutoff man. Shoulder to the plate. For some reason, Jeter found himself about 15 feet from home plate.
I was exactly where I was supposed to be. I mean, it's a play that we had worked on where I'm the third cutoff man. Now, my job as a third cutoff man is basically to redirect the throw to get the runner going to third base, but I realized we had some extra time. I just caught it and got rid of it as soon as I possibly could. And I tell people that's where I was supposed to be, and they don't believe me.
Derek Jeter with one of the most unbelievable plays you will ever see by a shortstop.
Like I said, we were giving New Yorkers something to cheer for.
The scoreboard clock at left center field reads 12 o'clock, and for the first time in the history of baseball, this is November baseball.
I realized the first time the World Series had been played in November, and I had jokingly told Mr. Torrey that his contract was up at midnight. I don't have to listen to him anymore. So I gave him my bat and said, put one more hit in it.
And the 0-1. Swung and a miss, blew a fastball by him upstairs, 0-2.
I did not like facing sidearm pitchers at all during my career. I just never picked them up. Didn't have a lot of confidence against them. Matter of fact, the at-bat before I tried to bunt, and I was thrown out because I just didn't see him. But in that particular at-bat, I saw a lot of pitches. I fell behind, got back in the count, I fouled a few pitches off. So I started to figure out his release point, and just one of those moments in Yankee Stadium, man. Funny things happen.
And he is going to go from the stretch on 3-2. And the 3-2 pitch. And the 3-2 pitch. Swung on a drill to right field. Going back Sanders on the track at the wall. See ya! See ya! See ya! Oh, what a ball game!
When I was running around the bases, it was every kid's dream, hitting a walk-off home run in the World Series. That's what every kid dreams of. It's what I dreamed of. You practice it in your backyard.
A game-winning walk-off home run by Derek Jeter. He is Mr. November.
When I first heard Mr. November, I mean, I didn't think it was something that was going to stick. I just thought it was something for a day. But I'll tell you a funny story. I ran and I jumped up on the home plate and I messed up my heel. So if you go through some of the highlights of the rest of the World Series, I'm limping all over the place. That was the first and last time I jumped up on home plate.
Brocious hits one to left. The wall. The Yankees have tied it again. Into right field, base hit. Play at the plate. Yankees win.
Some of the loudest games that we've played during my career were in the World Series in 2001. You don't have an opportunity every single year to get to the ultimate goal, and you know, unfortunately we didn't win that World Series, but I still hear about that World Series as much as any World Series I played in.
We're very proud, again, to introduce the 11th captain of the New York Yankees, Derek Jeter.
Captain is not a title that's thrown around lightly in our organization. You know, there's only been a few of them.
That one hit to left field, way back. Derek Jeter, bad hand and all. Goodbye, home run over the wall.
You don't dream about being captain of the Yankees. I mean, the dream is to make it to the major leagues, play for the Yankees, win World Series, but you don't sit down and say, oh yeah, I want to be a captain on top of that.
Pitches hit in the air to deep left. It is high. It is far. It is gone.
I think it's something that evolves over time. You get to know your teammates. You get to know personalities. If you speak all the time, people stop paying attention to what you say. I think you speak when you need to make a point.
I'd like to thank the boss, obviously, for giving me this title, and it's something that I will always treasure, and you know, I'll do it to the best of my ability. Thank you.
To this day is one of the greatest honors I've received during my playing career, and it's something that sticks with you. You know, I still go around now and people call me the captain. It's something that I never took lightly. It was a big responsibility. You have responsibility to your teammates, the fans, the organization, the media. I took it very seriously.
1-2. He loops that to left field. Going to be a tough play. Jeter on the run, makes the play.
In 2001, I fell into the photographer's pit during a postseason game.
Jeter makes the catch and falls into the crowd.
In this particular game against Boston, catching the pop-up was not hard. That's not a hard play. It's an easy play, matter of fact. But I knew I was running out of room, going through my head, what am I going to do? You know, do I try to run into the wall? Do I slide? My mind went back to when I fell in the photographer's pit, so let me just jump over it.
Pure hustle, pure guts. I got to make the play. Nothing else matters.
So I figured I'd just land in someone's lap, but I landed in the one seat that had no fan during that game.
I mean, it's just full tilt. There's no way you could stop.
People say all the time, you could have stopped. I couldn't stop. You know, I didn't have time to stop.
Wow, Jeter really banged himself up.
Wow.
The catch wasn't hard, but the aftermath hurt. Do we have to talk about 2004 with Boston? Probably from 98 forward, we were always close with Boston. I mean, we were arguably the top two teams in baseball.
Pedro Martinez with 17 strikeouts.
Jorge Posada with a 2-run shot. He is going, and Ortiz pounds a home run into right.
There's a fly ball deep to left.
If you play someone that many times, they're bound to beat you at some point.
Ortiz into deep right field. We'll see you later tonight.
That series hurts as much as any series I've played in.
Damon run into the plate, and he can keep on running to New York. Game 6 tomorrow night.
I don't play it back and go, what if? Because we were in the situation we wanted to be. Game 4, Game 5, we're right where we wanted to be.
Damon hits it in the air at the wall. A grand slam. Ground ball to second. Reese. The Boston Red Sox have won the pennant with the biggest comeback in postseason baseball history.
Tip your hats to them. I mean, they kept battling, and they came back, and they beat us. And there's a lot of pressure on Boston. I mean, they hadn't won in a long time, and they always had to answer the questions about losing us all the time, but that still hurts today.
It's a huge honor to put this uniform on every day and come out here and play. And every member of this organization, past and present, has been calling this place home for 85 years. And although things are going to change next year, we're going to move across the street, there are a few things with the New York Yankees that never change. That's pride, it's tradition, and most of all, we have the greatest fans in the world.
Driven out to deep center field, going back Sizemore, still back, looking up, see ya! The first home run here at Yankee Stadium off the bat of Jorge Posada.
I felt as though in 2009 we had the most talented team.
He struck him out.
Talent's going to help you win.
Ball game over, and another mob at home plate at the new house.
Whether it was the first inning, the ninth inning, we were never out of a game, and we were capable of scoring a lot of runs quick.
And the 2-0. There it is. For 72 years, Lou Gehrig has been the Yankees' all-time hits leader. Now, it's Derek Jeter.
One thing with Yankee fans is they're very aware of the history of the organization. And when I was setting the all-time hit record for the Yankees, it's something that meant a lot to the fans. And it's a big deal. You don't ever put on a major league uniform, especially a Yankee uniform, and say, yeah, one day I'm going to have more hits than anyone that's played, because it seems so far-fetched with all the great players that have been there. I didn't give myself a chance to reflect at all. It's a character flaw for me. I was always, what's next, what's next? My focus was always on the team and always on winning. My parents used to always try to tell me to enjoy the ride. I couldn't. I played a long time, and I tried to be consistent. So I was able to set that record.
27-22, and he moves ahead of the legendary Iron Horse, Henry Louis Gehrig.
And a high fly ball belted down the left field line. It is gone.
Our postseason run in 2009, we have a good chance of winning the World Series. I didn't like playing in the Metrodome. You know, pop-ups, fly balls, you lose it in the roof. They had the old artificial turf. It was time for a new stadium in Minnesota.
Ground ball hit out to Jeter. How apropos. And the Yankees are moving on to the American League Championship Series for the first time since 2004.
In order for us to win in 2009, we had to get through Anaheim. Anaheim gave us problems every year.
Percy delivers, and it popped up, makes the catch. Los Angeles Ganaron. The Yankees are going home empty to New York.
They were aggressive, they pitched, they played defense, they ran the bases. They gave us a real tough time, and I think for us, Anaheim was a thorn in our side.
Jeter lines one into center. The run will score. Jeter will hold, and it's 4-1 New York. That's it in the air to right. Jeter makes it 2-0.
Once we got through Anaheim, I figured we'd win a World Series that year.
Got him on the outside corner. Yankees win the pennant.
We get a chance to go back and celebrate and experience the success that we had years ago. It had been a long time coming for us.
What a World Series it should be. A great matchup. Why? These are two veteran teams. That ball is hit down the right field line into the corner. It is 1-0 Phillies.
I thought we matched up well against the Phillies. We had to beat them, right? They're the defending champions.
Here's an 0-2. And a good start for Cliff Lee as he strikes out Jeter on 3 pitches. Little pop-up. Lee will take it himself.
I know they had a confident group. We had confidence as well.
Got him. And a strikeout for Burnett. 2 on, 1 out. 1-1 pitch is grounded under the glove of Rollins. Throw by Ibanez is late.
We had pitching, we had defense, we had offense, we could score.
There goes Damon.
The throw's in the dirt, and Damon keeps going after the pop-up slide.
We could beat you in many different ways, and I think we showed it in that series.
To the second baseman, the Yankees are back on top. World champions for the 27th time.
It was like a reminder of this is what it feels like, because we hadn't won since 2000. You know, we lost in 01, we lost in 03.
And the Florida Marlins are world champions.
And then to win again, it's like you almost forget what it feels like. Especially going to the ticker tape parade again. No disrespect to any other city, but I can't see a championship celebration being any better than it is in New York. I mean, millions of people hanging from light poles and buildings. That feeling of winning is something that you miss.
Derek got his first hit on May 30th of 1995. 17 years later, we stand at the precipice of history. That one's drilled deep to left field. Looking up. See ya. 3,000. History with an exclamation point. Oh, what a way to join the 3,000 hit club. Derek Jeter has done it in grand style.
Getting my 3,000 hit was a relief. Anytime something was focused solely on me, it made me uncomfortable. I put a lot of pressure on myself to do it. I did put a lot of pressure on myself to do it at home, and I struggled quite a bit. It was a relief.
And Derek becomes the 28th man to pick up 3,000 hits. The first Yankee ever in the glorious history of the franchise, and he does it with a home run.
It gave me a chance to exhale. Consistency in my mind is the most undervalued and underappreciated characteristic in any profession. You don't miss it until it's gone. I think it's consistency in your overall behavior. I think it's in your work ethic. I tried to be consistent day in and day out. I wanted the organization, I wanted my teammates to be able to count on me, fan base to be able to count on me. And I took a lot of pride in that.
You know, I took a lot of time thinking about this. You know, last year I've been very vocal on how disappointing last year was, how hard it was for me to play.
Most importantly, I always told myself if it felt like a job, that it was time for me to go home. And I had broken my ankle twice, 2012 and then 2003, too challenging for me to play. I knew it was time for me to retire. The last season was tough for me. It almost felt like I was attending my funeral at every city I'd go to for the last time, because they're showing highlights of my career and giving me parting gifts, which I appreciated very much, but it was a tough year for me. final game at Yankee Stadium was the toughest game I've ever had to play emotionally. It was the only game I played in my career in 20 years that didn't mean anything because we were mathematically eliminated. So I played one game in Yankee Stadium that didn't count, and it was the last game I ever played. The fans treated it like it was a playoff game.
A drive to deep left, way back, and it's off the wall. A double by Jeter, and it's a 2-1 game.
Top of the ninth inning, I was saying, take me out of the game before I mess it all up. And then, home run, it's tied.
Back goes Yon, looking up, tie game.
And I'm like, man, I don't know how I'm gonna get through this. You know, I knew I was coming up third.
Well, the script is there. The last page is in Derek's hands.
I just knelt down. I said, God, if you have one more hit left in you, please let it be right here.
True Hollywood if Jeter gets a base hit to win the game.
A base hit to right. They're waving him home. The throw, it's close, but he scores.
Derek Jeter, where fantasy becomes reality.
It's just one of those magical moments in Yankee Stadium. And it just played out like it was a storybook ending. And it's funny because people say, oh, it's all scripted. Yeah, okay. We scripted the whole entire thing. Couldn't have gone any better. After the game, when I go out to shortstop, I just wanted to remember the feeling of being at shortstop for the last time. I wanted to take that with me. I just wanted to have a moment to myself, even though it's not to myself because it's in front of all the Yankee fans. But for us as players, that's who we play for, is fans. And they push you day in and day out. They're never satisfied, which is why we got along so good.
I don't know if any athlete anywhere has bonded with the fans more than Derek has.
There's a lot of people that have dreams of playing baseball. People see individuals that have had some level of success and they think they just woke up there. But there's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes, a lot of preparation, and a lot of people that help you along the way. You have to work harder than everyone else. And if you're passionate about it, then it's not work. I don't know if I'd change anything if I could go back. You know, I want to tell myself to have fun and enjoy it a little bit more. But then I don't think I'd be where I am if I did. I wouldn't change anything. This is my stop. See you in the show.
Oh, what a catch! Jorge Posada dropped his glove and he made a catch barehanded.
Jorge Posada was my closest teammate. I was with him every single day for the 17 years we played together in New York. Came up in the minor leagues together.
Posada with his first home run.
My oldest daughter and him share a birthday. Him and his wife are godparents to my oldest. Jorge's closest teammate that I've had. You play with teammates like Andy Pettitte, Jorge Posada, Mariano Rivera for so long, it's like you already know what each other are thinking. You know, you don't even have to say certain things because you didn't have to worry about those guys being prepared.
Posada swings away and hits it deep to left.
You didn't have to worry about them being overwhelmed by any situation. You didn't have to worry about what their #1 priority was. You didn't have to convince them that it was important.
Posada hangs on.
I mean, these are guys that, you know, be brothers for life.
Big night here in New York. Mariano Rivera.
Mariano was just always calm.
The young right-hander Mariano Rivera making his major league debut.
And Rivera has entered the big leagues.
Didn't make a difference if it was spring training game, Game 7 of the World Series.
Rivera is set, swung on and popped up off third. Ball game over.
He had the same demeanor. Looked like nothing bothered him. You knew what he was going to throw. He wasn't trying to trick you. He wasn't trying to fool you.
He broke 3 bats in that trip to the plate.
And he's a big reason why we were able to win all those championships.
These fans are the best of the world. I thank God for them because, I mean, these fans are number one. I love you guys. Thank you very much.
Core 4, myself, Jorge Posada, Mariano Rivera, and Andy Pettitte.
Back with the pitch and gets strikeout number 1.
Now, we got the nickname of the Core 4 after we won in 2009 because we were the only 4 that had won championships prior to.
When they first saw his name, is it Andy Pettitte? And everyone knows his name now, and everyone knows how well he can pitch. That time he did get him.
Andy Pettitte is probably one of the nicest human beings you'll ever meet. I consider him a brother. He's someone I've played with since I was 18 years old. He's a big game pitcher. He always seemed to step up when our team needed it the most.
What a start he is at, striking out the first 2 batters.
He seemed to be the guy that after we would lose a big game, he's the guy's pitching the next day.
Now Jones back to Pettitte. You want more poise? 1-4-3. Inning over, and the Yankees hold on to the lead.
You had the utmost confidence in him every time he stepped on the mound. You knew the moment wasn't going to overwhelm him.
Got McGuire.
We were all very comfortable with him on the mound in big games.